We are live. Yes, sir. It's been a minute. I'm nervous as always. It's a good nervous. For those of you that are watching, thank you. I've got X family. Let me just, man, we are live on not Facebook today. I didn't do that one, but typically we'll be live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Hold on, I gotta go live. We are live on Instagram. Yes, sir. We figured it out. So we're live on Instagram. Bro, this is the first. So live on Instagram, not Facebook, what theoretically Facebook. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, on X to all of my X family. Stream Elements is in my conversation. So if you're on Twitch, thank you. Man, I'm excited. We're live on Instagram. What the heck? Bro, I'm the professional. Anyways, let me shut up. Guys, we got a very special guest today, but before I get into that, let me pay the bills. Today's broadcast is brought to you by 5 and 7 Tactical Solutions. If you don't know who they are, they're one of my previous guests. They offer tactical solutions for those of you that maybe live in an area where you feel that personal protection, maybe for your family or property, is important. They do everything from pistol training to rifle training, self-defense methods for yourself, for your daughters, for your sons, even your wife. They are based out in Hawaii, but they do offer certifications in Hawaii and also in Arizona. And if that's you, let me pop up their banner real quick. This is the website. I believe it's 5and7tacticalsolutions.com. I don't have it up on there. You guys are lucky. You don't get spam. But anyways, 5and7tacticalsolutions.LLC.com. They are friends of mine, and I actually got my certification in Hawaii through them. So if personal protection is something that you're seriously considering, go to 5and7tacticalsolutions.com and get your pistol training, whether you're applying for CCW, for those that know what that is, or it's concealed carry weapon. We're in a very uncertain time, and there's a lot of things that's happening maybe in your city, in your community, and you want to get educated in that area. So anyways, thank you for listening to that short little ad. Today's guest is a very special friend of mine. We started live streaming together the same year on an application called Periscope, and it was purchased by Twitter. For those of you that don't know, they paid $120 million with this live stream app. Well, we created a community from that event, from that moment in time. And so I also partnered with another gentleman who we became very close in terms of business. We cultivated a company that partnered with Twitter/Periscope. And so we had an opportunity to do a tour in LA, in San Francisco, and we had big dreams to go to Vegas and New York to promote our company. Well, this is where I officially met this person. I have her username in the title. Her name is Tala Smith. Her username is Tala_no excuses, I believe. So if you're not following her, make sure you follow her. She's a content creator. She is someone that's been through a lot of adversity in her life. Her husband, Jim, is a very cool guy. He's good people. He is a truck driver, and I want to interview him as well. But I'm excited to have her because she's been doing a lot of really good stuff here on X, for those of you on X, but even on Instagram. If you're on Instagram Live, she's been doing a lot of great things just in the area of not just motivating people, but sharing her life. We are at a place where there's not a lot of people that are willing to share their real organic life. And so anyways, I've been talking so much, but Tala is one of those people, and I'm very honored to have her as a guest today. For those of you that are just tuning in, do me a favor, repost this, reshare this, share it in your timeline. If you don't want your timeline to be spammed, that's fine. Just repost it, and when we're done, you can take that repost off, clean up your timeline. But I would love for you guys to get to know Tala, but also get to know her story and why she does what she does. And we're just glad to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 30 seconds, you're going to meet Tala Smith. Yes. Hey, I got to give a shout out, bro. We got brother Zeke on Instagram Live and also Mothership Destiny on Instagram Live. So I don't want to take your time, Tal, but Mothership Destiny, I met her in Oregon, and she lives in a bus.
Ah,
Her whole
oh,
family.
okay. Well,
So,
that's
but
awesome.
yeah. Anyways, you look good. You got wings popping out of your shoulders there. What the heck? Is that by
I love this
design?
backdrop. It's my speed bag platform up there.
Yeah. You're, I don't know if you're angelic or the other. I don't know. It's like angel wing. Yeah.
You never know. It's a phoenix.
So how's the cats? How's the kitties?
They're doing good. Shadow, as of a couple days ago, is at 1 year after a catastrophic diagnosis where I was told 6 months optimistically, and he's on 2 medications twice a day. He has a very enlarged heart. He's a rare case. So that to me is a huge win. So I've got a bunch of special needs cats, and right now exactly one of the indoors is healthy and completely out of concerns, but all the ones that have issues, they're doing about as well as I am. So yeah, that's a win.
Are you about to cry, Tala? Are you getting
No.
emotional? Oh, okay. I don't know if we are we getting there? Are we emotional already? Usually I wait
I'm
until I tell a story. What the heck? What?
I'm kind of blind when I put the camera up this close. I'm in my last pair of single vision lenses, and I'm fighting getting into the what do they call them? Progressives. I don't want to.
Progressives, for those that don't know, oh my gosh, can't even talk. Progressives is code word for old, right?
Hey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, in
is that
September I'll be
bifocals?
57.
Is it
No, these are single vision, but like a progressive is like a bifocal, but it's not a hard line. So you've got gradiated focal fields. Yeah.
hmm.
So I
I
don't want
would
to
get
have to do it because
confused.
it's a hard adjustment. It's
I,
difficult to get used to.
wouldn't you get confused though if it's gradual? You'd be like, wait a minute, why is it not?
You can.
Yeah,
And they were threatening to switch me those before Yosemite. And I said, don't. I got to do a hike. I got to climb. I do not need to be looking down and not know where my feet are.
can we? You know, I'm gonna troll. For those that don't know, I'm gonna troll Tala. So you use the word threatening. What do you mean threatening? How do your optometrist threatens you? What the heck?
They wanted to switch them to that. I said, no, 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 no. We can
If
stay
my
with this.
optometrist threatened me, I would like, you know what, dude? Yeah. Anyways, uh, real quick for those that don't know Tala, do me a favor, click on her username in the profile, follow her, or in the description. Um, man, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? Like,
Uh,
what is Tala doing right now?
besides talking to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, besides that,
All right. So the major change in my work was I had started with awareness. I moved into advocacy. Um, the big shift over the last couple of years, and especially the last year, date to date, I would say, has been switching to primarily motivational work, right? And the background is still the same. The reasons behind it, what I want to accomplish, but I think I was very limited in the old format because ultimately it came down to what does awareness work do for anyone? It may or may not bring in more donations to organizations that are going to help work on treatments for my illness, may or may not. You never know. But ultimately, trying to explain to someone what it's like living with this is not it's not beneficial because you're never going to understand it until you walk through something like this yourself. So I questioned the what's the right word, the longevity of that early on. With advocacy work, that's still very important, teaching people how to advocate for themselves. This is about being independent in managing your own healthcare. But in the motivational work, this is super important because it's what has turned my own life around. And so I am more talking now about not just this is the end goal, this is where you want to be. Well, what are the steps you take to get to that? It's been uh, very long process, a very exhausting process at times, and I'm still going through it. So, anybody who hooks up with me for accountability or any assistance in any way with that, who wants to walk through it with me, just know that I'm still going through it. I'm not a finished product. I don't ever want to be a finished product. I think when you do that, you're done here, right?
Oh, I think I'm 90% finished. I'm a 90% finished product.
Yeah, yeah, but we can't all be as perfect as you.
Yeah, yeah. Like my epic hair and my epic stomach and all that stuff.
Right?
But I'm so happy.
Goals.
Hold on. My wife has my coffee. I'm so excited.
So I remember too that you can't
Keep
see.
going. I'm going to grab my coffee.
Okay, you can't see comments on Android devices. I guess you can't type comments or see comments, and so I realized, okay, tablet useless. So if you have a way to watch, and if somebody's commenting in the broadcast in X, then just let me know if there's somebody asking something.
Well,
'Cause I
yeah.
can't see it.
Well, so if you're on an Android device on X and you can't type comments or even see them, just go to go to the Verizon store, go buy yourself an iPhone, and you can see comments. But well, in all seriousness, go to the. I'm on YouTube. Everything is the real Greg Lopez. If you're struggling to find me, just go to the real Greg Lopez on all socials. On our next time we do this, Tala, I'll make sure you put your credentials because you can go live on your platform at the same time. I meant to
Okay.
tell you that. I keep saying, but I keep forgetting. But
Yeah, I
anyways,
haven't done that yet, so we'll work on that.
so you've had like 4 or 5 minimum of conditions, illnesses, and things that you've walked through, right? At least.
Yeah, systemic lupus is the primary one, which is a diagnosis that they will yank back and forth and argue about. And so I finally at one point said, okay, so we've gone from undifferentiated connective tissue disease to systemic lupus back to UCTD, then mixed connective tissue disease, which is actually much more ominous. And I really don't care what you guys call it. Let's just treat it because the treatment's all the same. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. You use some really big words there. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I know.
I'm like undifferentiated,
And I
substantiated.
didn't even say systemic lupus erythematosus.
Family, I'm just being honest. I didn't understand 90% of the words, but I know what lupus is. So my wife actually has an underlying condition, what they try. And so for me and my wife, really, no, you don't have it. I'm not saying I don't want to deny doctors, right? So
Right.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
management right now, you're good.
Yes. In fact, a really big change. You saw how I drove myself, was driven by my coach back in 2018 and 19.
That a
But
Russian?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Dimitri. But I burned myself
Dimitri.
out. I mean, no regrets. In all seriousness, no regrets because we didn't see that coming anyway. It wasn't just because I was depleted. If I had been depleted and there wasn't this ominous virus in the picture, then um, probably things wouldn't have gone as badly. I still crashed and burned. I still would have crashed and burned, is what I'm saying. I think that I still would have needed some recovery time, but maybe not nearly as much. So that made a huge difference because that virus triggers autoimmune response. So for those of us who already have the predisposition and have active disease, it can be much worse. Think the only reason it didn't put me in the hospital, for example, is because I had already been working on my fitness level. So, as we have talked about, I fell to my level of preparation. I was physically fit. I was sick, and it took a while to recover. But point being, I did recover, and without the help of my doctor. Oh. So now I'm managed well. My pain level is down again. A lot of things I've had to start over on. I gained some of the weight back, so I'm taking it back off now. Yeah.
What kind of weight did you gain back?
Well, I lost 75. And
Was that
I'm
fat?
I'm sorry?
Did you
Yeah, oh
lose
yeah.
a lot of body
Oh
fat?
yeah.
What
A
about muscle?
lot. No, I mean, I really was not taking the rest breaks that I should have, in my opinion. But I was learning something. I was learning my capacity. I was learning about, like, I could do a whole lot more than I thought I could. And that was really what he taught me. So again, no regrets. I don't believe it was exactly the right way to do it, but I needed something from that process. Um, so I ended up gaining back within a couple of years, like probably half that. And so I'm not really sure how much now, because at one point I told the doctor, I said, you know what? It's demotivating. You want to put it in your chart, fine, but I don't need to know my weight because I know I'm not where I need to be. And I need to focus on what I want to do, not what's going on over here. To me, that's a distraction. You do your numbers and keep it to yourself.
Well, I know I probably said this 1,000 times, but when it comes to doctors, like we obviously, my wife and I respect them, right? But
Right.
if we had put all of our faith in a physician
Yeah,
and believe right what he said about us, we wouldn't have kids, right?
exactly.
If we truly believe that, because my wife is not supposed to have kids, right? For those that don't know, and did the whole surgery thing where they take out what's important, and doctor says you can't have kids, and so it's like, okay, well, 5 years later, well, we have our first organic child, not organic, but like for those that don't know, we have 4 children. Okay, in my bio it says 4 kids, but um, one out of the 4 is adopted, but still family. So, but anyways, yeah, we listen to the doctors, like, and I respect it. I
Yeah,
have, I've done podcasts with people that have spent a good deal of money getting their credentials, right? So, I respect that.
yeah.
But
And
actually,
they operate within the parameters that they're given.
right.
There are certain things that even though they may believe something different, legally they can't say it.
Well, Dr. Heath said that, right? Because he said that, um, he said because of the nature of some of the diseases or conditions or circumstances, they're not going to go out there and say that there's hope when they don't know if there's hope,
Yep.
because it does put them in a position where they can be sued, right, for whatever.
Yes.
So
And
I
the insurance companies will go after them too. There are certain things that my doctor always has to say, do you want this? Do you want this? Can we do that? Nope, nope, nope. Can we get on with the appointment? He's learned, but he still has to say it. He knows that's coming.
yeah,
Yeah. He did it in my last appointment. Do you want a flu shot? I'm all nope. He's not surprised.
let's go backwards. So I feel like there's people that don't know why there's I don't know what word to use. Some people that are on X or on social media may not understand why there is a little bit of chemistry. Hey, it works. Mr. Compton says he can chat. Yes. So,
Yay.
um,
Welcome.
anyways, so the whole relationship in social media started, I was obviously online, but then when we met organically in, was it LA?
Yes, it was near the beach.
Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know the story, we were looking for a venue to promote our product, our services, and at the
Right.
time, Egg Drop, we had launched an AI. See, AI is a loose term, but we weren't really smart AI. It was just basic function. So we offered an AI service to tag along with the live streaming here on X. I'm going to just say X here on X, where
Yeah.
you could say, "Hey, Eggbot, tell me the weather," and Eggbot would come into the chat and give you guys the weather updates. Or you can say, "Hey, Eggbot, I want you to ban Tala." So we developed a product that would follow voice commands while I'm live,
Yeah.
and it would do those functions within a live stream. And so, anyways, we had that product. We had to find a venue, and we found this Airbnb loft. It was a beautiful place, a small place.
It
It was
was.
beautiful, and we did this whole demonstration of what's up, random. Yes, sir.
Random. Bradley in the house.
So, we found a venue in Muscle Beach, which was my dream place to go to. And we rented this loft with an upstairs meeting. It's like a meeting room. And so we did this whole demonstration. And that is where I first met you organically, correct?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was.
we had a handful of really popular live streamers and
Yeah.
not just live streamers. One of the people was an American
Olivia
Idol winner.
Ty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Olivia Ty, and then we had there was a psychologist there. She was a like a sex psychologist. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
And then of
Um,
course we had Joanne.
Kama. Kama
We had
was there,
we had a
and
DJ.
who was the doctor or something? Or
There was a couple of doctors that were there, and then also Arthur, who is an amazing podcaster now on Instagram, and he's a powerhouse. It's
hmm
crazy how everybody branched off and did their own thing.
you know
But
what I mean? The one who did like marriage and family or relationship counseling. What was his name? He doesn't follow
uh,
or I can't think. Yeah.
I can't remember. There's
Yeah.
some great. I'll put the
Gives the
video.
best hugs.
And then Mary, who's in there, she was part of our egg drop team and actually part of our cryptocurrency project that we did. So people that don't know, like, there's so many layers to us from the time that we met. Like people, like,
We've been trolling each other since 2016. It's a while.
so Tala is messaging me like in private, like when are we starting? Like, what the heck? Are you always late? Yeah, family, I'm
Bro,
always
you on
late.
island time?
I'm from Hawaii, so there's no rush. Where are you gonna go? You're on an island. So that's kind of the backstory of us.
Yeah.
And I told Tala the other day, I said, I want to interview your husband because I want to do a series on people going to work. Because
Yeah.
I feel like in the past 2 years, my wife and so my wife was just talking about this. She was saying that why is it that the supply chain has lapses? Or so I told her it's not the supply
Right.
chain. It really isn't. I think what happened was there was a ton of people buying products that they didn't have enough to put in the supply chain, or if that's the right. And the other thing is, I think people were not going to work because they were getting paid. What was it, $900 a week from federal unemployment benefits? So why would they go to work when they're taking home $3,800 a month? Why go to work? So now you don't have people part of that infrastructure of what do you call it? What did I say? Supply chain, right?
Yeah, and it's complex. Because of course, as you know, truck drivers were essential workers. They had their paperwork. He got a set of those papers. He still got them because if something happens again, he's covered on it. And it depends on the company. Walmart did not stop. Okay, we did not stop for anything.
I'm gonna
There was
pause you
no
right
plan
there
to stop.
because you're right. Walmart didn't stop. Let's full screen this. Walmart didn't stop.
Yeah,
Neither did Target, neither did Costco, Sam's,
right,
all your big stores. But in
right.
Hawaii, every other store had to shut down
Oh,
because they were not considered essential,
wow,
even though if they offer the same products, right?
wow.
So, anyways, I'm going to put it back on because
Huh.
that continue what you're saying about that. I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah,
out. Sorry.
no, no problem. Wow. See, I didn't realize that. And a lot of things stopped. Yeah. I'll just give a little blurb here because this is very important to me. Walmart takes a lot of flack. Understand that the CEO was not handed anything. He started stocking shelves in the garden department when he was a teenager. He worked his way up. He was not given what he has, even though he's the CEO. There are a lot of programs that Walmart participates in that people do not know about. Things like Toys for Tots, Wreaths Across America. There's Truckers Against Trafficking, which is a program that's kind of been up, down. I don't know if it's active right now. Jim has a heart for that. So that's about human trafficking. There are so many different things like disaster relief. If there's something that happens where they've got supply, they've got warehouses, they're going to bring stuff. They bring food, clothing, water, medicines, anything that you could possibly need in the middle of having lost everything. They donate that, and people go, well, that's a tax write off. Look, they donate it and they bring it to you, not because they get a tax write off, but because they care about people. And there's the whole thing of, well, they drive small businesses out. Actually, they contribute money to the small businesses around them to keep them in business because Sam believed in supporting small businesses. So they've got a bad rep with a lot of people because of rumors and people that don't understand those things. They expect you to advance within the company. If you have earned a promotion, and you must earn it for it to be offered, and they offer you a promotion and you turn it down, you're done. They expect you to advance. And also, they will pay for college courses, by the way. Jim's been taking college courses himself.
So is he a direct employee or is
Yes.
he like, okay, wow.
Unlike the previous where he was working for someone who subcontracted to FedEx. Yeah, he is a Walmart transportation employee. Yeah. For almost 5 years now. Oh, has it been that long?
Well, see, that's why I want to interview him too, because like
Yeah.
people that actually, I'm not casting shade because I get it. Like there's a lot of people on social media that are trying to hustle. So I got to respect the hustle. And before I continue, I want to just give a shout out to Sarah Nicole on Instagram. Yes, Sarah Nicole. I don't even know who that is. And also Brother Zeke, who's in Instagram Live. I'm so excited to have Instagram
Awesome.
Live. You guys are like the champions of vanity photos and videos. Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Jim is like, and he's, I think he'd be a good conversationalist, obviously, but people that go
Yes.
to work and people that are on social media to promote a business or product, I respect that because I do. I'm not going to lie. Like I promote products. I have companies that believe in me and I hope I sell enough of their products to make a decent, profit.
Yeah.
Um, but we're short on people that are willing to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I ain't gonna like. I'll be transparent. Like I've done Uber, Lyft. I've done Roadie is awesome. So if anybody needs to make money and you want to get paid like today, tomorrow, as soon as possible, and you got a car, look up the Roadie app. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling financially. If you want to make some money, look up Roadie. It's Roadie. Yeah, whatever. Roadie, and they're owned by UPS. And all you do is you download the app. You use your car to deliver packages. You don't have to deliver food because Roadie is strictly like parcels or especially during the holidays. I know people are struggling. So if you guys want to make some extra cash, man, download that. There's so many ways to do it.
Right.
But yeah, Jim, going out there and being a provider for your household, and I know that you manage the household, so I know that's important, very important.
Yeah.
I have a ton of
So
respect for
he
you.
doesn't have to think about it. That's the thing. If he's hauling, 40,000 pounds, uh, you don't want him distracted and worried about what's going on here. So that's one of the reasons it's really important for me to get a new car now because he wants to be sure that I'm safe. I have the transportation I need. He doesn't need to be thinking about can she get to the store or any of that. So I manage the finances. I take care of everything here. He drives a truck. That's his focus. Yeah.
I think I never understood that dynamic which you shared. And I understood it. I just never felt it until this past
Right.
year. So for those of you that don't know, I'm here in Oregon, although everybody thinks I'm still in Hawaii, but I technically I'm in Hawaii and Oregon. We slowed down quite a bit in the past 4 months in terms of traveling to Hawaii,
Yeah.
but we've taken 8 trips so far in the past 9 months and that gets very expensive. But not being home, I totally understand what, like,
Yes.
one of the worst things for me is like if I'm not home, like who's gonna watch my kids? Who's gonna protect my wife? Who's gonna do all that? And the last thing we need is those little details that don't work, like your car
Right.
or
Yeah.
sink, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going through some plumbing issues in the house now too. So there's always something, and I have to kind of um, patch things up until he gets home on the weekend. I've gotten very good at that. There was a time when to be alone all week, there was just no way. No, no, no. And when he had to go back to driving a truck for the first time since we got together, uh, I had to let go of that. I had to say, okay, we need an income and I know you know how to drive, so go get your license back, you know?
You know what's cool though? Check this out. Like, and we talk about it over the years, but in 20, I don't want to use a year, but in this generation, we have so much opportunity to generate income, whether it's just $100 a month. You don't have to go to an office. I have a friend who manages a Honda dealership parts department
Mhm.
in Gresham, Oregon. He was telling me, and he's from Hawaii, and so we're both strangers in a foreign land. He's like, "Prada, I don't understand why nobody wants to work,"
Yeah.
and he's trying to hire people. and you know, they don't pay a lot, but it's a job, right? And so he's like, so I said, it's probably because there's a lot of people that can theoretically generate income without having to go to a boss like you. And it said, and you're a terrible boss, so they probably don't want to work for you, you know. So I'm joking, but that's the truth, right? People don't want to go to work for somebody that's just going to harp on them. So you know what,
Yeah.
I'll make my own income. And so I think the whole gig worker industry, whether it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, even various different, there's so many, right? And then of course social
Mhm.
media, where um, social
That's
media
what
is.
I'm working on is social
Well,
media.
let's talk about that. So, what do
Yeah.
you think? Um, just since Elon bought X, positives, negatives. I don't know. Let's open the floodgates on that.
I've been pro on it from day one, even when a lot of people were like, I don't, look, to me, I'm not concerned about who owns a platform as long as it's being run well. And we all know it was not being run the best before. So I was ready for a change. I was ready to see that change. I mean, just the shutdown of Periscope was enough of a blow to all of us.
Let,
It
let's
was,
let's land there. Let's
oh
land there for
God,
a second.
yeah, that was
Do you know
like,
why
where
they
do
shut
we
down
go
Periscope?
from there?
Do you know why
Huh?
they shut down Periscope?
Yeah.
Let's hear
Well,
your thoughts, and then I'll share
okay,
mine.
I know there's more than what I know about, but I mean, the what the statement was, I guess, about it being profitable. They didn't have enough staff, I guess, to keep going with it. I don't know beyond that.
I
I
think
know
that's.
there's
I
probably
mean,
a lot.
let's be honest. That's a lie. When you got 9,000 employees at the time,
They were cutting people out though. That's the thing. Well, if you
well,
fire people, then you don't
okay,
have enough employees.
let's do full screen. So you've got. I got to show my hands. So you've got Periscope, which was they they paid $120 million for Periscope. Okay, right? We know that.
Yeah.
So they bring on Kayvon and his team of people that designed the app. They're all college grad. I think they're all Stanford grads, smart people. So they bring them on board. They technically are owned by Twitter, but they are allowed to function within Twitter's ecosystem, right?
Right.
They share the same. They're in the same building. It's not like companies today where they'll buy you out and you gonna have your own corner of
Huh.
the United States. No, Periscope's team was in the same building as Twitter, and I know that they operated separately per se, but
Yeah.
technically the paycheck was the same. So when you've got 9,000 employees, I kind of believe it, but I kind of don't. What I do see, anybody that's in the tech industry, you can chime in if you want, but I think they just didn't want it to stay open for political reasons. That's one of my opinions.
Well, yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, what's interesting? Okay, so let's go back to when the app was still in operation. About the time that Nate and his family moved to the East Coast, I had these little buttons that I had picked up somewhere, and all of a sudden now it's valid, and I need to find where it is because I don't know if I gave it to him or I offered to give it to. I don't know, but I've still got one, and it says on it, "Be the media." Now Nate didn't understand it. He goes, "Be the media. What is?" I said, "Boy, if you don't get it after all the time we've been in Periscope, whew, because we are the new media. We're the honest media. We're the immediate media." And then that platform got yanked. And yeah, I mean, you're right. You had said that before. We were being very on the spot, very instant, very honest, very first person perspective instead of setting things up according to the narrative. We know what a press release is. We all see it. Every single newspaper and online news article says the exact same thing in the same words. So when I see that, I want to know what's not being said, the things that we're willing to say.
Well, I'll agree and disagree. I think journalism is good and bad because how many times on Periscope I would, and I think we're all adults here, but bro, I kid you not, bro. I would turn on my app one night and I'm like, I want to go to Pakistan. So you can literally go to anywhere on the map, right?
The
I tap
map.
on the red dot and I click on it. There's this dude buck naked on his bed with his wanger in his hand. I'm like, what in the heck am I watching? So in that respect, and it's live. It's And
Yeah.
we all know that there were murders that were broadcast live on
Yeah.
Periscope. There's two of them or suicides that were
Suicide.
broadcast live.
Yeah.
So I get that
There were
part.
issues.
Yeah. Of course, underage girls that were being promoted. Um,
I
well,
reported a few of those. Yeah.
so I understand, but now when Elon released the Twitter files, that confirmed my suspicion. I'm not saying that's the only reason why they shut down Periscope. I think
Yeah.
the live stream portion, and part of it is that if I can take my cell phone and if I can go live, right, at any political event and share with the world what's really going on, there's no censorship. There's no Big Brother,
Unedited.
yeah, unedited, right?
Yeah.
And I think Twitter files confirmed that because it makes no sense that they would spend $120 million on an app and only to shut it down and then go back to audio only. And I love Spaces. Spaces is great. I'm not shooting that down, but it's kind of like, and family. This is a family show, but it. Let's just be real. If pornography went to audio only, do you think it would be successful?
With
No.
someone, maybe.
Let's
But
be
yeah.
real, right? I'm not saying I'm not promoting pornography in any way, but if pornography went to audio only, do you really believe they would be as no? Of course not. It's all about
No.
the visual. It's all about video, and it's the same thing with live streaming and social media.
We're very visual creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we were audio only, like I said, I love Spaces. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about why would you disintegrate a live stream platform that had millions upon let's do the Trump billions and billions and billions of hours of audio
Yeah.
video here. But so it's cool, right, to see Elon kind of put some energy back into the live video
Yeah.
platform.
Well, yeah. I mean, on top of the fact that it was like getting the rug yanked out from under us, the platform in some ways was stale. It did need new eyes, new energy, definitely.
Yeah,
And I like his goal of making it the everything platform. As long as things are progressing, just like with a fitness goal, at the right pace, not overextending to where, because this is what was happening in Periscope, because you were there. Hey, let's do this new thing. And the question after an update was always the same. They have fixed that. So how many 5 other things did they break in the process? Every
yeah,
time.
yeah. And
So
I
as long as
don't
the
buy that.
tech is keeping up, I'm good with it.
I don't buy that whole like not profitable thing
Yeah.
because
I wondered because we were on there constantly. How could it not be profitable?
well, look at this. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. You see it? I'm putting it on the bottom.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that you can't put a rolling ad on the bottom of your live stream to say "buy my stuff"? Buy, you
Yeah,
know what I
the
mean?
other live stream platforms had that.
Yeah. I'm,
What was so hard about, the devs are not that dumb. The developers are very smart people. That's why they do a very smart job. So why didn't, yeah.
I
Or,
gotta
and I
say,
said this before, I would have paid for Periscope. I wouldn't have paid, let's say $50 a month. I'm not that rich, but I would have paid for it if that was what was necessary to keep it going. A bunch of us would have.
well,
Yeah.
here's the funny thing. So Twitter, now X, was the first among many. So for those that don't know the potential of X and what they are to the industry, so in 2015, when they bought the live stream platform, they offered it within the the Twitter ecosystem. They were the first of the big three to have live stream. After them, Facebook said, "Okay, let's offer live video within our platform."
Yeah.
After Facebook, it was YouTube. When Elon bought Twitter, he said we're going to do paid verification. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I'm not going to do that. I should get it without having to pay because I'm a celebrity. I'm the big mighty whatever." And it's like everybody's crying about it. And then now, who decided to follow his footsteps? Instagram,
Yeah.
right?
And I was over here going, okay, let's go. Just don't make it so much that I can't afford it, but let's go.
Well, and Instagram wants, they want $15 a month, and they want my social security number, phone number, and my address so they can come, spy on me and stuff. So
Yeah. I'm not paying for Instagram. I don't
I,
I don't need the boost there.
well, I might pay for it because it's all about the vanity blue check mark. We all want the blue check mark. So
I missed my VIP, my gold VIP badge. Did you know that both my silver and my gold, both of those, you were the one who told me I had it because I didn't see it. If this tells you how much I don't focus on the little details of numbers and all, like when I log into an app, that's not my first thing. How many followers do I have? It wasn't that. I came into your broadcast and you went, brah. I'm like, what?
what's
And you told me, I
funny?
said, oh my gosh.
Okay, let's have that real conversation. Let me check my Instagram real quick. Thank you again to brother Zeke and Sarah Nicole. They are my loyal viewers right now on Instagram Live. I mean, so I was watching this podcast the other day on, contrary to popular belief, a lot of the people that we follow on social media don't actually go on social media. At least
Yeah,
that's what they're saying, right? So good example. Joe Rogan and someone else was talking about how they rarely check their Instagram or Twitter or whatever because they know that it's toxic for them.
yeah.
And they talked about how the struggle is real, even though they don't technically use it. Like they'll sit in a bathroom, and I'm guilty. They'll sit in a toilet longer than needed until your legs don't work, which is so me. But
That's
I'm
so
sitting on
terrible
the
for you.
toilet, checking my status updates, checking my followers, I'm checking all, and I'm like, oh my god, my legs don't work. What the heck is going on? I've got and I'm 48, and
Right.
so I get it. Like that's just real talk, people. Like, and I think we get caught up in that. And I just shared on my last post on X, and I said, it's not you, it's me, right? If you guys read that, it's not you, it's me. I unfollowed 2,500. I actually unfollowed more than 2,500. I didn't want to show 3,000, but anyways, it's more than that. So I said,
I've done this kind of cleanup.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
And so I said, I unfollow a lot of you, and it's not that I don't like you. I still like you. I'm just like, I'm cleaning it up. And, if you still like me or whatever, you can comment and, I'll follow
Yeah.
you back.
It
But it
depends
can
on
be.
who though. Like I told people when I did that, I said, I might not like if you come back and you want to follow me again, because I did them the favor of a soft block because I didn't feel like unfollowing them and then leaving them following me. I thought was kind of would be rude. So I did a soft block so they could come back and follow me if they want to. But the
Can we get
warning
a
was this.
visual? What's a softball? Is it like this? What does it look like?
So soft block is you block the because this platform X does not have the ability even now to just remove follower. So you have to block and then you can unblock immediately. So they have the choice to come back and follow you. But my
Oh,
warning to people was if your timeline is loaded with negative spew
that's so smart.
and politics and all the things that I have stepped away from for my own health, my own benefit, and for the benefit of my work, I will not follow you back again. It's your choice. If you want to support, thank you. I appreciate that. But just fair warning, because I don't need the toxic input. There are some people who it's like they can't stop themselves. Everything is angry. And I don't want angry on my feed. Yeah.
Well, there's some people that I don't follow, and I don't think they follow me, and I think it's good because I'll give you. And I'm not family. I'm not going to cast shade on anybody that has a lot of followers because I think
Yeah.
there's a reason for followers. And this is I'm going to share a little bit of my almighty wisdom that I got from the almighty algorithm. So followers are important
Yes.
because it shows that there are a lot of people that at some point believed in you, liked your content, but what it doesn't show is if they're still alive or if they're still there or if they even engage with the content or if they're even a human being. They could be a Russian generated bot. We'll talk about the Russians in a little bit. It could be a sex bot. It could be someone that maybe they liked you for a minute. Now they don't use the app anymore.
Yeah.
So I do have problems with people that flex on the amount of followers they've got and they use that as street cred for how. Here's the real thing, like
Right.
the reality. I think we put value in ourselves, and I'm going to say me. on social media based upon the type of following we have, not just the amount of following, but the type of following we have. I think we put a value system on who follows us,
Yeah.
whether it's a astronomical amount or if it's 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. I think we place value on a person. I'm not saying we judge them, but there's a value. We have to admit there is some kind of value system. I mean, do you disagree or agree?
To a degree, but as you know, I've always handled my social media lists differently than most people do. I'm not afraid to do the hack slash burn. I clean house at least once a year. And I mean, I will boot 800 or 1,000 people if I feel like that's what I got to do for my own sanity. At minimum, by the end of a year, I've probably thrown off 50, but sometimes those are dead accounts. I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing when I log in is feeding the things that I want to boost in myself. So, um, that's complex, but to me, it's more important to see quality. That's what I'm coming down to. The quality is important, and so to me, it's more important who is following me than how many are following me.
Well, I
And that's
promise
not
you.
about right. That's not about celebrities. That's about people that I've talked to that I know their content is good and their mind's in the right place.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll promise you this: I'm important because MC Hammer follows me. MC Hammer follows this guy. I'm just saying.
Well, we've both got Eddie Guerrero's daughter now. She,
Yeah,
in
that's
all
right.
seriousness, is really she's lovely. She's well spoken. She seems uncertain of herself because the spaces are new for her, but I mean right out the gate, I think she's on top of it. I like her.
That's the beautiful thing about space is that anybody, real or fake, can. So I'm gonna cast some shade at spaces now. It's not that I don't like. I'm just gonna be honest about everything we talk about. Spaces is legit because you can have whoever in the same room virtually, right?
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is that you can also have an inflated amount of listeners on spaces. I don't know if you guys know this or
Yep.
not, but you can have fake numbers on spaces. People don't
Mhm.
realize that. She is a gem, Bella Brad. Yes, but so
Well,
how
you
that
can listen anonymously now too, so that even makes it more confusing.
on iPhone only,
Oh, really? Oh,
not on
well,
Android. Gotta stick my
you know what
finger
I've
to
got?
the authority on Apple only.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can have a lot of people. You can have inflated numbers even on spaces. And to prove my point, and I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna. That's not who I am, because we'll talk about Russians in about 1 minute. To get inflated numbers, it's not that hard. All you got to do is create a bunch of web pages to watch or listen to, right? Or not web page.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, different windows. So,
right.
and I'm hopefully I'm not throwing out insider secrets. I think it's common sense. Maybe not.
Yeah, some people know, some don't. I mean, some people don't pay attention to that side of things.
Yeah, but going back to your whole followers thing, I think the tough thing for a lot of people, ego wise, dealing with the ego, like somebody asked me the other day, "Oh, do you think that your engagement is going to increase now that you've unfollowed?" I said, "No, it actually dropped. So my engagement dropped because there are people that follow me only because I follow them, and they only engage with me because I follow them, and
Okay.
that's understandable." So now that doesn't guarantee. So here's the funny thing: just because I have 5,000 followers, you have 3,000, or whoever has 100,000, we have this false pretense that the amount of content that I put out there, that it's limited to the 100,000 people that follow me.
Yeah, and
But
it's
the truth
not.
is, there are people that don't follow you that are going to view your content and don't care about following you, but they're actually going to read what you have.
Yep.
And there are probably 92,000 that follow you that don't even care what you post. They just like the fact that they're connected to you or whatever. So
Well, I had back when they first brought Reels in Instagram, I think it was. Or when they made it automatic that videos of a certain length went to that. On my rescue for the cats, my rescue page, I had a video that it got a lot of attention, and I was aggravated at all the notifications, so I took it down
You still have the
because I
page?
didn't understand it, you know. To me, it was too much because it's just this quiet little page. It wasn't that big of a deal to me, and I was like, oh God, I'll figure that out later. But on my primary account this year, I had one that went viral like that. I just didn't understand what was going on the other account when it happened. So now I'm kind of caught up. And it was that funny video of Jim. It was one of the big Jim
Oh,
strikes
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like showing how you use the seatbelt to push the forward. Yeah. So that thing, by the time it was over with, after I don't know, a week of just notification after notification, it's at almost 500,000 plays.
Did you make money off of that?
No, because I'm not monetized there. Instagram is stupid little things like if you have, because you have the music sticker, you can add music to something, but you're allowed to add music to a still photo. But if you do that, they will cut your monetization or not give it to you in the first place. Why do I have the ability to do that if it's not allowed?
Let's
There's the question.
let's talk about the almighty algorithm in the sky. So for those that don't know, oh my god, what the heck? Tala. I was about to either say Twilight or
Voila.
Twala. What the heck? I can't even talk.
The Hawaiians have pronounced my name better than anybody. What's going on?
You know what it is? I'm excited and I'm nervous. Like, what the heck? Anyway, so Tala and I personally know two Twitter engineers, organically and also to protect their well-being. We won't throw the names out there, but if you research deep enough, you can find them. But anyways, one of the things that we learned is that this almighty algorithm in the sky that everybody is trying to chase and promote on how to get the best impressions, and some of them are right, and I think we were all right at some time, but what most people don't understand is that algorithms are not set in stone.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the reason. Like, if it's my company, of course I'm not going to let the algorithm stay the same, because there are going to be people on there that are going to manipulate their metrics to get a better favorable rating from almighty algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's going to make it unfair for other people that are organic and keep doing the work that's necessary. So a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, you mentioned gaming the system, and you know how annoying I find that.
It's not
I
hard to
get
get.
it,
I mean,
but
it's not hard, right? But the thing is,
yeah.
I was sharing with somebody the other day, and actually, I'm going to bring him on board tomorrow. We were talking about that, how at some point we got to make a decision. Are we going to chase the almighty algorithm, which is important for some, or are we actually going to connect with people that, organically, right?
that
Right.
the importance of the one. Yeah, you've said that over and over, and I mean, when you said it, it was just verifying what I already felt, and so I picked up on saying that as well. So it's more important to me, like I said, who's following me or who I'm following, either one, and to have preferably a two-way connection with that. We follow each other when it is someone whose content I know I can value. I let's say I follow Dr. Heath and he didn't follow me back. I would be kind of sad because I really like the guy. He did follow me back, by the way. I think he followed me first. I can't remember, but I like the guy. His content is amazing. And I told him one day, I said, I like the way your brain is wired because, like, I get you. You get me. And he's funny. He said, something about how strangely his brain is wired. I'm like, yeah, but mine's not normal either. And so I like talking to you. So I want those kind of connections with people that I know I can trust, people that I know are going somewhere good with what they're doing, their work, their personal life, people that I know are not going to backstab me, right? That's very important to me, not just to have an inner circle, which is like I can count those friends on one hand, but to have those other circles concentrically outside that are other people that I know are going to support to whatever degree I get to know them. Like, I couldn't care less about, you want to get to 100,000 followers. I'm not after that. I'm not chasing a number. I'm not chasing any numbers. I'm concerned about that one person who comes to me within whatever time frame and says, hey, what you said really resonated with me. It made a difference. I'm going to work on that. Thank you. That's the feedback I want. Yeah.
You brought up a point where I'm not saying this is you. I'm going to say this is me. Oh, I followed you, but you never followed me back. Oh, what
We
the
all
heck?
do that.
But let's be honest. Like, we want to be validated. We want people to like us. I don't care who you, but I'm 48. Like, I get it. But
Yeah.
you remember Lisa Sansusi? You ever
Yeah.
remember? She had a powerful organic connection with people on Periscope, Twitter Live.
Massive. Yeah.
And it wasn't, she had a lot of followers, but it wasn't about, there's this one time where she went live and she was telling everybody, thank you for what you guys are doing. You follow me on here. And she says that you make me feel special and you guys walk me through some very difficult times in my life. And when I watched that, I was like, man, that's as inspiring as that is, it's also heartbreaking
Yeah.
that a lot of us have put so much value in someone that may or may not be a real person.
Huh.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that.
Well, it depends on who. Like I said, like, I mean, I'll go through my lists to get rid of bots if
Right.
they're following me, that kind of thing.
Now,
But yeah.
there was a saying that I used to say a lot when I was on live stream media in the very beginning, where I would say, guys, thank you for following me, thank you for being with me live. And I said, the truth is, a lot of you guys, we're going to grow up together.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say that a lot. I said, I appreciate you guys' companionship, and the reality is, we're going to grow up together doing this live streaming journey.
And we did.
Yeah. And it's so weird now that you can say, you know what, man, my good friend so and so, who you've never organically
Never
met.
been face to face. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we started our cryptocurrency company 2 years ago, I only met 2 out of the 10 people that were in our team.
Yeah.
And it's weird, right? How that works. And so
This is the digital age. That's
yeah.
why. I mean, my friend Dina, we've heard each other's voices because I do live stream. She's posted some videos. She's more shy. She doesn't really do a lot of that, but we've never talked on the phone. But she's one of my closest friends. We have each other's phone number. We just talk and text all day long. So, yeah, I've never met her. She lives in Indiana, but we have shared so much life experience. She's a very important friend to me.
My dad has never seen his doctor's face. Yeah.
Wow.
Here in Oregon, he has never seen his doctor's face. Not once. Because she's always wearing a mask. So he doesn't even know what she looks like.
Okay, yeah. Our veterinarian, when I met her, it was in the middle of that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and the day she walked in without a mask, I went, "You're so cute."
You're real. You're a real person, and you're wearing pants. Yay!
Face your face. She just ran.
Anybody that does remote meetings, Zoom meetings, you know what I'm talking about. So I always joke with our team. I said, look, when we officially meet in person, I know right now I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm on full screen. Every single one of you guys better be wearing pants, because I know you're not wearing pants right now. You're wearing in Hawaii we say bibbities. So, man, okay. So going back to live streaming.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the monetization because I think that's a whole nother. But in 2024, when January 1st comes around, what do you think is going to happen? Or what would you like to see happen in live streaming on not just X, but let's say X, since we're talking about X, Twitter, whatever.
Well, I will say this just to encapsulate this very briefly. As far as monetization, yeah, I do want to go there. I need to go there because I can't hold a job outside the home. I can't be a reliable employee for anybody. And this is what I do already. So that just makes sense. It's just, yeah. But I want to be very, as I keep saying, intentional. And I want to understand my own plan of what it is I'm going to offer people before I go, hey, subscribe to me. I don't want to just go subscribe to me for no reason. That seems ridiculous. But goals, my goodness, the most important thing to me and this starts outside of the live streaming and content creation. I mean, the content creation should stem out of, as you've said, organically should stem out of who you are and what you're doing. Clarity is extremely important to me right now, and consistency, because I've just spent the last year building a better foundation for myself, for my fitness, my wellness, um, my mental well-being, having the right direction. But that foundation, especially because, man, that was a hard crash and burn. That was a few years of just bleh, and I don't want to do that again. This needs to be sustainable. Because I'm getting older, it does become more difficult to manage my health issues. So sustainable is important, and that starts with having clarity, knowing where am I going with this. So it's become more important not just to tell people, hey, you should be taking care of your health, you should be eating well, you should be thinking about being there for your family, you should be thinking about your fitness level or weight loss or whatever. It's not that so much as, because we already know that. None of us are idiots here. How do you get there? So I'm now at a point where I can talk more about those steps and getting the right mindset as a foundation. And that's 2024 to me is really about manifesting everything I've been working on all year in 2023. Yeah.
Define I've been hearing those words. I know what it is, but if you
Yeah.
were to define to our audience manifest, what do you mean by manifesting?
Okay, a lot of people have used it as, I'm going to make this happen. To me, that's not really it. It's when you physically see something falling into place. Now, that may not be a tangible thing like, oh, I dropped 50 pounds. That's something that's tangible. Um, that may be people are engaging more with my content. They're actually giving me feedback. Like, so we all want people to click likes because it tells us, oh, somebody was paying attention.
Yeah.
But that little heart tap, that's one thing, and it's a small thing that you can do, but a lot of people just don't. I don't know why any more than you do. They'll watch it and go, that was really cool, and not boost it. I get that, but here's what I want is the feedback. I want the person who comes back to me and says, I got this from what you're saying, and that's really important to me right now. That feedback is everything because it tells me I'm on the right track, that I'm actually helping someone. Yeah. So I
I've
think
been
that's
well,
a manifestation, don't you think? That's something
I
that
think
happened.
so. I
Yeah.
think well, I think sometimes people say the word, they don't even know what they're talking about. That's
Right.
just the
Well, as
honest.
Christians, we know. As
Well,
Christians,
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
absolutely know, right? Yeah, we
Well,
know what that means.
but I get it. It makes good conversation, and you can talk for hours about it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's sometimes I'm not. I got to be careful how I carry myself. But I think some people,
It's popular
yeah,
lingo. Yeah.
people just say it because it sounds good and fe-
Trendy.
trendy.
I see the reason that I'm right on board with what you're saying is because I attack that kind of topic myself on a regular basis. And do I step on toes? Yes. I do. But you know me. I'm pretty much a bull in a china shop when it comes to that. What did you call me one time? Rugged. Oh,
Well,
Tala.
yeah, yeah. So
Rugged.
when I say rugged, that's another word I use. But I just noticed you asked yourself a question and you didn't give me a chance to answer. You answered it for yourself. Did
What
you
was
notice?
it?
I don't know. You just, am I strong and handsome? Yes, I am. I'm like, wait, did she just answer her own question? What the heck? But, you know, I will say, I think in 2024, when it comes to live streaming, I'm curious to see how they're going to monetize it directly. This is my desire that they monetize it directly, meaning
Yes.
because, so if you're on a mobile device, you can tap the screen, right? And it shows hearts. What I would love to see is for them to monetize that again. For those that don't know, they actually use to monetize the hearts, but offer it on a corporate level where corporations can have their own specific hearts in which, as a viewer or a broadcaster, we can purchase those. When people tap the screen, it'll pump up. Let's just say they used to have NFL once before. So they would have NFL, Miami Dolphins hearts pop up on the
Yeah.
screen. Or if it's like, whatever. It could be an advertiser like Coca-Cola. And every time you tap the screen, there's a heart with a Coca-Cola in the middle or whatever.
This was even before the super hearts. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was the
So I would
specialty.
love to see that. That way, it makes the platform healthy financially, but it also gives the
Yeah.
viewers and broadcasters something interesting to offer.
Yeah.
Right?
Which honestly, that keeps people engaged. They're entertained by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would like to see. The other thing I would like to see, obviously, is exposure increases and also. So, for people that don't know, on desktop, you can't do it, but on iPhone and Android. So, if you have an iPhone, X uses Apple Maps. If you're on Android, they use Google Maps. So they already have your location. It's already pinned. It's already located when you use the app. Now you can
Right.
toggle on and off. You can actually toggle. So if you guys don't know, the last broadcast, I think was it a broadcast? Can't remember. Oh no, she did a broadcast. Tala did one where she did a vague location.
It said it
And
was in Africa, you said?
Tanzania, I think she was in Africa, family. We all know she's not African. Come on, look at her. She's not. I don't. She's not Sarah Warren. Oh no, not Sarah. Who's the
Wait. There's people who are from South Africa that are my color.
No. But you're not. Yeah. You're not African. I'm sorry.
No. I don't know
She
why it does that.
Elizabeth Warren. Is that the politician Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
Who said that she was like Native American, and when they did the blood test, she was like, it's like 0.2%.
Well, and the problem was she took advantage of it for college funds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, so so Tala changed her location to where she was in
I
Africa.
didn't do anything.
So getting back on point, because I like to chase squirrels, the idea that they already have your geolocation available, I would love for them to put the live stream on a map. And let's say I want to go to Japan. I click on the red dot. I want to go to Japan. And the globe turns around, click on it. There's Brother Dave in Osaka eating raw fish in Japan. I think they should bring that back. That's
how I met you. The map.
Well, they could even do that in spaces too. I mean, you think about it. It's on the same code. It's on the same platform. So I think that map feature would be great. Now, obviously, safety concerns, right? Like, what's the word they use?
Gotta be able to turn it off. Yeah.
What's that big word they use?
For what?
Doxing, right?
Oh yeah, doxing.
Yeah. I don't know why do they call it doxing?
I haven't researched that one. Usually I can come up with an answer for you.
Well, let's find out. I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Define the word doxing.
Origin of it.
Huh. So it says act of revealing someone's personal information online without their consent. So I guess it's not doxing if I do it myself.
No, we joke about doxing yourself, but I mean, technically you wouldn't be able to because you're volunteering it up unless it's accidental. I always turned my location off when I was at home. That's just smart, but I wasn't worried about it in public locations. I had people threaten, oh, I know where you are. I'm like, yeah, okay, by the time you get here, I'll be gone. So go ahead, have fun. I didn't care.
Well, yeah. And somebody messaged me the other day, and it was public. It was in my timeline, but he said, do you know that your location is on? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I told him I did it on purpose because I want people to know where I'm broadcasting from, and I said I'm fine with it. And I gotta be careful how I say it because I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm like, you're more than welcome. Let's just put it this way: I'm a firm believer in what God blesses in the United States of America, which is Second Amendment. I'm also a firm believer in dogs. I have 2 dogs. If you want to come in my house, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm like, I can't vouch for what they're going to do to you. And it's funny because in law enforcement, I have a lot of family and friends in law enforcement where they go to a house and it, like whoever the bad guy is, they're like, they're swearing, F you, we're not coming out of the house, you pig. And the cop's like, okay, if you want to come out, let me know. If not, We're gonna send the dogs. Send the dogs, whatever. Send them, you
They
pig.
changed their mind real
Oh yeah. As
fast.
soon as the dogs enter the house, they're screaming, "Get them off! Get
Mommy,
them off!"
mommy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's over real fast
So
every time.
there's something about dogs when they start
Yeah,
barking and they start
right.
shaking their head. Oh my god, my
You know you got no control over that situation. But yeah, we believe in the Constitution here as well. Anybody wants to threaten me, well, okay, go ahead. you know,
just as a
I'm not
reminder.
impressed anymore.
Well, just as a reminder, family, understand your local laws. So some states have stand your ground or castle laws, so be aware of that. So if you are obviously you should know if you carry a firearm. So there are
Yeah,
some
yeah,
states where you cannot fire on somebody if they break into your home, even
yeah.
if they have to pose a legitimate threat to
Some
your.
cities within states,
Well,
New York City.
here's the funny thing is in California, I think California, like just because they enter your home and possess a threat to you and your life is in imminent danger, that does not necessarily give you the legal right to fire upon them. So there's a retreat law. So meaning you have to show proof that you retreated first and you had a safe place. And if they violate that retreated safe space, then it's a good shoot. So a lot.
Yes, but
Well,
that
that's just a law, right?
but that depends also on the city because you're never going to run into that in San Bernardino for one reason, the Inland Regional Center shooting. Okay.
What's the inland regional? What does that mean?
The Inland Regional Center is here in San Bernardino, city of San Bernardino, and it was a city resources for, there were programs for various things. I don't know in great detail, but my friend Daniel he ran the coffee shop and he taught developmentally disabled adults skills working in the coffee shop so that they could get quote unquote real world jobs outside of just that center. And so when that terrorist attack happened, because that is what it was, um, he sacrificed himself, quite honestly. He was pushing people towards the door and yelling for them to run, and they gunned him down. I will say this, he saved all of his students. They all got out. He died the way that he lived, is what I like to say about him, because he put other people first. But because of that incident and how deeply it affected everyone in this city, and in the county as well, but in this city in particular, if there's an incident, you're not going to be castigated for having a weapon. In fact, I have a friend here who had a break-in in her home, and when the police arrived, the question was not, do you have a weapon? It was, where is your gun? And she said, I don't have one. And he goes, why? You need to get one. You live in San Bernardino. I think I'm okay saying that because I don't know the officer's name. I'm not outing anybody for having said that, but I'm just saying that our constabulary here wants us to take care of ourselves because they are very aware that the real first responder is you. They
Yeah.
can't get there fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the podcast that I had David Padilla. So if you guys don't know, I had the CEO of 5 and 7 Tactical Solutions talked about what you just said, that
It was a good show.
Even though you live in a city that has high population, a good law enforcement, task, whatever, a good number of law enforcement, he said it is still your duty as an American to be able to protect yourself and your family.
Yes.
To some degree. That's your job. That's your duty.
I like him. He's very level-headed and very balanced. Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually used to, so when I first met him, we worked together in security. We were, if you ever seen the movie Super Troopers?
Yes.
That's us. Straight up, that's us. Or like Reno 911. You ever watch that TV show? I don't watch it, but that's me and Dave. I kid you not. But there's some crazy but that's how I met him. And I used to actually train with him, MMA. And so he's actually a pro MMA fighter. So he used to train us at he had a gym that and I used to come home with all kinds of bruises and like it was bad. My wife was like, what are you
You throw
doing?
yourself into it like I do with the 16th century fencing.
Well, it was fun, and I actually thought I was going to be an MMA fighter one day, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be. But
You know what
David,
a shinai is,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. That pixie,
Okay,
I call
that
those
hurt.
pixie sticks. Those are pixie
That
sticks.
but that hurts. But see, and I was asked when I first started learning, because Big Jim, he's expert level with this. He was teaching me, he goes, "You want protective gear?" I said, "Okay, did anybody else in our guild have protective gear?" He's all, "No." I'm all, "Then no." Because nobody's gonna respect me if I don't gain the skill the same way as everybody else. I've had a black eye from it, I've had a fat lip, I've been
So
there.
in Kailua, where you see me broadcast a lot, there used to be these two. I don't know what you call it. You say guild. I'm gonna say I'm gonna use that word. Two guilds. Every Saturday they would meet up in this park. They'd be like in full armor,
Yes.
metal armor. Bro, I got a full screen this bugger. So
We've
they
got a group that does that,
ah
yeah.
full armor. They
Yeah.
have like the only thing they didn't have is that they never have horses and they didn't have the grease on fire. They had everything else, but they had the fake castles, everything. But it would like they'd be like charge, and they would run towards each other and like they fight in the middle of a park with
Yes.
real metal. I'm like, bro, these guys is retardedly crazy, bro. Somebody gonna die. But I was like, there are people that legit are into that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
intense.
that's my Renaissance Fair group, you know. I mean, we do historical reenactment of 16th century German Landsknecht. And I mean, the reality is in that time frame, sure, women had their feminine roles, but if you're talking about an army, the women were quite capable with weaponry and everything else. So, yeah, we get into that. I mean, it's 16th century fencing. It's not like with a foil. It's not pretty and flashy and friendly. It's you're hitting each other with sticks.
See, I would be the guy on the wall with the big bucket of grease and light it on fire. That's me. Like, you guys want to fight? Go ahead. I'm gonna throw this grease on you and light it on fire. That's
The torch, yeah.
okay. We got to get back on top. So we talked about live streaming. What else are we gonna talk about? Um,
Well, we kind of touched on the steps to getting to goals, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the main thing with what I'm teaching over the next year because it's been very important to me. So that's kind of a big deal because I've seen people talk about this. I've heard people talk about this. It's true that my program, and not I'm not selling a program, but what I'm saying is my routine, what I do for myself, may not be the exact right parameters for somebody else. But the framework, the bones of that is going to be the same. And I talk a lot about getting up early. That was where the first light warrior came from. I get up at least at first light an hour before sunrise, if not earlier, because in that stillness, in that quiet time, there's a lot more that you can get done. I used to stay up late. It's not a healthy habit, no matter what anybody says. You exhaust yourself. Your body has an algorithm that you have to pay attention to, that you have to honor and respect. And so I realized I'm staying up late because I want that quiet time. What if I just flip this around and go to bed earlier like a normal human being and get up early? Then I got my quiet time, but I started my day productively. I got something done. So if the later part of my day is too busy, there's things that I still accomplished at the start instead of rushing to get it in and then get in bed completely exhausted. So those are the kind of things that I want people to be aware of. It's not just, you should get up early because successful people get up early. It's popular to teach that. But why? That's what people are asking. But why? Say I'm 65 years old and I'm already retired and I've got all of this health stuff I'm managing. What am I worried about with success? See, that doesn't speak to everybody. But my question is always, how well do you want to feel at 60, at 70, at 80? I've gone through major health challenges at 30, at 40, at 50. I kind of would like those later years to be better, to be stronger, to be healthier, instead of reverting back to the massive disability I had and needing someone to take care of me physically again. So, yeah, there are benefits to this that would help everyone. It's not about financial success. It's about setting yourself up for personal success, right?
There's something beautiful about waking up early
Yeah.
and getting stuff done before everybody wakes up.
Yeah.
I
It,
don't,
it
yeah.
energizing, isn't it?
Well, I did the Mark Wahlberg thing for a minute. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. If I can, nah, I won't pull it up.
I can't remember.
But I don't know if anybody remembers. Mark Wahlberg posted up one of his daily routine things, and it was retardedly crazy. Like, I can't believe somebody would actually do that, but I did it. I tried it. I'm like, okay, I can't do this longer than two. Wow, he was up at 3:30, and he would, so from 3:30 to 9 o'clock at night, he had his day all planned out. So
Yeah.
he wake up at 3 o'clock, do his devotion, journal, eat breakfast. He would go to the gym, go work out by 4:30, come back home, eat another breakfast. He would have a snack. He wrote on snack, like 5:30 snack. Um, every appointment, every photo shoot, every when he go to the studio, and in between studio and this, he would like snack. Like
Strict.
he really
Very
wrote
strict.
snack.
Yeah.
And then he goes cardio at 6 p. Whatever.
Yeah.
Take my kids out to eat, whatever, 5 p.m. Whatever. And he wrote everything out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but he started at 3 o'clock, and he would work out at like 3:30 in the morning. And
And I should be up. Really, I aim for getting up about 4 or 5. I didn't do that today because I just needed a little more rest. I was up late. We were both up late. But yeah, it does sometimes. Here's the thing, you're forming habits, right? When you're building a foundation for yourself, you're building that routine, then sometimes you do have to go that rigid and strict and maybe write it down and stick to it. That's the consistency part. I said clarity and consistency. So it's both. And I am now going into that kind of strict format again, just to get myself aligned with what I need to be doing. If I don't do that, then yeah, I can't stay consistent. So yeah, I'm up that early. That's crucial.
I've done a lot of those schedules over the years, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I look at my journal or my schedule. I'm like, you loser, you liar! Like, you didn't do half of the stuff you said you was gonna do. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'll go do it
See,
tomorrow.
I had me three teaching me how not to end up doing that. I mean, here's the thing, there were consequences. You can do this for yourself. And that was what he had to teach me because he wasn't going to coach me forever. But there was one night he told me X number of burpees, and I hate burpees. And I went, because I was exhausted. I said, can I just do them in the morning? Now, here's what he would do.
What's a
I said
burpee?
the word, huh?
What's a burpee?
Burpee?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, that involves there's a squat jump, there's a push up. It's several things you're doing, a squat thrust. It's actually a combined exercise. You got to look it up if you haven't seen it. But I didn't want to do them. I was tired. And so he said, sure. And I went, don't let your guard down around him, because the next thing he said was, but if you do, it's going to be, and it was more, I don't know if he like added on 20, something like that. I went, oh my God. Okay, I'll do them now because I didn't want to do more. Consequences. I started this 100 squats a day challenge again, but I cut it down to 2 weeks for people because I see people dropping out on a month or not wanting to start. So I said, okay, here's what we're going to do this time. And I've already started. But if you want to start on January 1st, fine. I'll go through the 14th. So I'm doing more than 2 weeks. When we get to the end of that 2 weeks, I'm going to pick something else. You can, on your own conscience, switch it or add it. You know I'm going to be adding it because I need to get back to my old routine of workout. But here's the thing. The first day I was going to start, I was tired. I fell asleep. Now I got to make those up. I'm not going to say, okay, I didn't start that day, I'm starting this day. There's 100 that I have to make up now. That's the consequence. Keeps you honest.
Where do you squat from?
From?
If people are like, what the heck is that question?
From, explain.
So one of the things I always enjoyed was obviously doing squats, but there's so many different types of squats. Uh,
Yeah.
one of the tough ones is to do a squat from a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, whatever weight you got, I would start off with 135 on my shoulders and just do, so you would start from a seated position and you would make yourself get up. And that's one squat back down. That's hard because you don't have your starter muscles. You have only the teardrops. So if you know
Right.
the teardrops, so I'm doing it right now. If you
And see,
only
I'm
have,
not using, to be clear, I'm not using weight right now because I'm building my strength back up.
so
Yeah.
yeah, you can do it without. So
Yeah.
it'll use your, I call them the teardrops, right? It's the little teardrop muscles that are right above your kneecaps.
Yeah.
So it focuses on that. Now, if you got bad knees, then that's probably not a good starter.
Right.
But then it also your calf muscle. So that's why I say, where do you start from? There's some people that I used to do these squats where you go down to the bottom. We call it, and I'm not. We say okole to grass, which is your rear end to the bottom,
HE.
and you start from the bottom and you go up, you go back down, and you start off. So there's different variations, right? And it works different muscle groups. But that's why I said, where do you start? Where do you squat
Yeah,
from?
so I'm not using weight right now because, I mean, I'm not trying to tear down my PT that I worked so hard for. So what I always tell people on my challenges is modify to whatever you need to do. So even when I start off by just doing to the height of a bench or chair. I'm not doing ATG right now because my body's just not ready for that. I did, however, discover accidentally as I was explaining to my brother that I can't keep my heel on the floor if I squat all the way down. I went to show him what happens and discovered I can now. So we tend to limit ourselves by thinking about where we've been and not pay attention to the progress. Sometimes that's good, sometimes no. I was like, okay, I can do that now. So I need to capitalize on that and do a little more. But I've started off just doing them down to the level of a bench, um,
Well,
and that way I don't overtax my knees. Yeah.
you're not a, you're not a rice farmer in Cambodia, so
Right.
you don't need to do the okole to
It's the
grass.
length of the femur. Some people just can't.
Well, you can do the So for guys,
It's a
this is not an
ratio.
exercise show, okay? But always seek your physician before doing these exercises. But I've done a few. So if you get these two plates, um,
Yeah.
right, you put them on the ground. The smallest, do the 2 pound plates. Put them on the floor,
Yeah.
and you put your heels on it, and you can do squats that way too. For those
Right.
that have issues, that's one
Yeah.
one little trick.
And I have a slant board as well. So I've got all the tools for it. I'm just bit by bit getting the room organized. I have a living room that I don't entertain, so it's becoming the home gym. So that's more important to me. Yeah.
We have a barn. I'm embarrassed to show the pictures yet, but we have a barn right outside my window that I want to convert into a podcast studio
Yes.
slash gym.
Yes.
It's going to take a lot of work because I'm not even,
I know.
I got, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 sets of tires. They're all in bags. I have lawnmower equipment. So I want to convert that barn into a podcast studio
This is
slash.
like my garage. It's full of stuff.
I'm not a pack rat, but my dad is, and so my dad lives on property with us. He has his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My dad bought a what do you call those things?
Do
Not
you think
train.
this is like the era that we're all gravitating towards the home gym thing? A lot of people are doing that.
Um, maybe like I believe in a gym. I do believe because I travel, right? So obviously,
Yeah.
I have a membership with I think it's called Snap 20. I forget what it's called. Snap Fitness, I think it's called. But the
Mhm.
home gym will be mainly just for my boys because
Right.
they're too young to go to a gym. So I want to.
Yeah.
It don't have to be elaborate. I'm probably gonna get power blocks. I love power blocks are awesome because you can get a ton of weight in a small little footprint.
Yeah.
I used to have 120-pound dumbbells, but you could take out the plates and it'll drop down to like 5 pounds.
Right.
So power blocks
Yeah.
are awesome. If anybody's never used them, they're great for apartments. They're great for people that don't have a lot of space.
Yeah. You know what
And
I'm doing? I've got a thrift store locally that I kept trying to remember, where did I see them? Where did I see them? Because have you seen the price of weight plates? I mean, like
they're
around
expensive.
$2 a pound in some cases now for new stuff. And I mean, I'm talking iron. I don't like the ones that are plastic. I don't like that. So this thrift store, I remembered where it was, and I beat feet over there, and sure enough, they got a big stack. So I'm squirreling those home bit by bit. I came home with 105 pounds worth of those plates for $60. I'm happy.
I want you to do this because I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I gotta pee real bad. Can you walk us through a typical workout routine, and take a long time because this is gonna be a long key. So, guys, I'm gonna have Tala share her workout routine. And this is real, bro. Tala's my friend, so I know I can trust her to do this. I'm gonna have Tala explain a typical workout routine slash routines, and I'll be back in like probably 45 seconds.
Okay. So first, I just want to say thank you to everybody who actually joined on the various platforms, because we didn't get Facebook this time, but Instagram, Twitch, X, you guys are awesome. If you came in here, I can't see comments, unfortunately. We're working on that. But my workout, I want to go back to 2018 and 19. So at that point, I was not very active because I was living with a great deal of disability. And so the person who came into my life at that time became a very good friend, and he walked me through everything. The first thing he threw at me when I was in an emotional meltdown over something was, he said maybe 10 push-ups would help. Well, nobody had ever thrown that at me before, and I went, okay. You know? So what he did was he just kept adding exercises, and that's why I'm doing this challenge that way, rather than switching. Add something after a couple of weeks. And at one point, he was adding new stuff every couple of days. Once I got competent with something and he knew he could rely on me. So those 2 years were a lot of push-ups, a lot, because that was pretty much the consequence for anything that I mouthed off about or didn't want to do. More push-ups. Yes, it was like being in boot camp. And that's what I needed at the time. So most of what I was doing was calisthenics. So bodyweight exercises. I was doing sit-ups. I don't do sit-ups anymore. There may come a time when I want to do that again, but it's not the best thing when you've got low back issues. So man, push-ups, burpees, jump squats, speed rope. I did a lot of jumping rope. I got to where I was running. I can't run right now. I'm working my way back into that. A lot of walking. I was hitting at least 10,000 steps a day. Pretty much anything you could think of in the calisthenic category, man, I was tackling it. I just added a lot of weights exercises now. Yeah.
Do you wear hokas?
What?
It's called.
Oh, yeah. Hoka One.
Do you have those?
I don't have any. No.
Yeah,
Hoka One. That's it. Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to brother Robert. Good to see, he's on Instagram Live, and then I think Tommy Christie's joined. I don't know if he's still in there, but I love this Instagram Live. I wish I could pop the comments on the screen, but anyways,
I know, right? Maybe eventually. It's
yes.
a stable platform for me. I mostly wear Under Armour, Asics, Brooks. I love Brooks running shoes, man. Those are my go-to. Wow. Yeah.
So in high school, when I played varsity basketball and varsity soccer, I was size 9.5. That was 30 years. Oh my gosh, 30 years ago, 35. Wow, we're old, Tala. Yeah.
Yep. Getting there.
You're old. You're ancient. I'm old. You're ancient. But now that I'm 48, I wear a size 12.5. And I can't figure that out. So either somebody's a liar or I'm still growing. My feet are growing.
Okay, manufacturers, it varies. And so I tend to rely on the European size, which I wear approximately a 39. But even that varies.
39. Is that centimeters? What is that?
I think it is. I think that's what. So I can wear anything from, well, it used to be 6.5, but I would say 7.5 to 8.5 in women's. But the reason that European number is important is because sometimes I'll get men's or actually boys' shoes in that size range. So I'm just looking at the little tag in the tongue to see what, where does that land. But even in manufacturers, it varies. Your feet, however, will grow a little bit more into adulthood. People don't realize that. Like my mom bought me really good leather boot roller skates when my feet stopped growing. I can't get my foot in them now.
I think either my feet. That was my phone. My phone was like, "Hurry up! Shut up!" But
We're organic.
um, who's talking? That was my phone. Oh my god, this thing is demonic. Google is the devil. So yeah, either my feet are growing or my feet are getting squished because I wear wide. What do they call it? I'm wide footed
Uh,
because I always wanted Air Jordans when I played varsity basketball. I always wanted Air Jordans, but I could never get my foot into them. I'm
are
like
they
so
narrow? Yeah.
the Air Jordans are narrow.
So
So
is Solomon, my favorite pair of trail runners. They're narrow. I mean, if my feet are at all swollen, forget it. Jim also has a wide foot, but here's the thing. He was wearing 14 for I don't know how many decades, right? So he went to get measured for hiking boots first time since he was a kid, I guess. And the guy goes, "No, you're a 15." Like, what? Were you folding your toes up? So I buy his shoes in size 15 now. Yeah,
wait, who's 15?
Big Jim. His shoes are expensive. It's hard to keep him in shoes and boots. Wow. Yeah, size 15 is expensive.
You know what's expensive, family. So for those of you that have, if you don't know, how you say it, plantar?
Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, plantar fascist. If you are a plantar
PF.
fascist, um, good luck on finding cheap because you got to get the insoles that they make just for your feet, which is like $400 to $500,
Yep.
and then you got to buy the shoes that are made for your feet. And I
You
think
know
some
what
of
though? You
conspiracy,
don't need it.
yeah, yeah. So I know that, but even though like if you get medical to cover it, buy them. But if you don't,
Yeah.
buy
Well,
whatever
here's
shoes.
the thing though. I mean, it's like anything in the medical community, it's kind of a split belief about what works. And they wanted to put me in a rigid orthotic, and I said no. And I'm so glad I did because your toes should be able to split apart and grip the ground. You should have that flexibility in your feet. And
Like
so
this.
2 years of flair,
If I
you
didn't
should be
need,
able to.
no, 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 I'm gonna call you on it because, bro, come on, guys. Like, if you are dating a girl and her feet look like caveman from like the paleo whatever
You
era,
follow Leo Urban. But here's the thing. Here's what I found out, and this was a hard pill to swallow. Um, I get into physical therapy this year, and my therapist tells me that I'm not engaging my toes correctly, and I'm all, what? Okay, all right. Where do we go from here? So this was a big part of why I had so much pain and why I kept going through these flares with the PF. So I have to do exercises at the time I couldn't individually raise my big toe. Okay, so you should be able to raise your big toe and bring it out a little bit. I couldn't do that. And then you do exercises with your other toes, like hold the big toe down and raise the rest of them. You should be able to do that. My feet were not strong enough for it. So that's the most important thing for management of this condition. And if you put yourself in a rigid orthotic, you're preventing your foot from getting the flex and exercise that it needs. Your body's meant for movement. Yeah.
this would be our last discussion on footwear and feet, but because it's funny.
We're going to get foot trolls.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the ugliest feet in history belong to LeBron James. If you guys don't
Yeah.
believe me,
I'm afraid to Google it.
all you people out there, to when we're done, go Google LeBron James feet. I swear. But you know what? More power to him because of his ugly feet, he's a billionaire.
If I get a weird website, I'm blaming you.
Yeah. So let's bring it in for approach to landing. I will say this. We should do a meetup in 2024.
Yes.
We should do one in LA. Is LA close to you?
Um, well, let's say it this way. My parents are in LA County in the South Bay. That's 70 miles from me.
So
It's doable.
it's like an hour and a half ish.
I just want to avoid downtown LA, and trust me, you want to avoid downtown LA too.
Well, I don't think we'll
That's
do. I
bad.
would like to do Laguna Beach again.
Yeah, that's a nice area.
That's a nice area.
Yeah, I could do that.
You know, I'll plan. We'll plan. I want to plan something
Yeah.
next year. We'll do a meetup in Laguna Beach,
Yeah.
and we'll require people to bring their roller skates and their Daisy Duke shorts.
Oh my goodness.
And you got to bring your 80s boombox on your shoulder. Yeah. That is Laguna Beach, right?
It can be, I guess. I mean, I think the last time I was there was when I saw you. Yeah. You don't want to go to
Venice Beach. I'm sorry.
Beach
Venice Beach is what I meant. That's where we had our last meetup, was Venice Beach.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's okay. They're trying to clean it up, but it has gone downhill. There are some problems. So I would say research crime rate issues before you pick a spot.
Well, that's why it's such a cool venue, because it's risky and it's exciting. You gotta dodge.
We live dangerously.
You gotta dodge the what do you call it? You gotta dodge the fentanyl guys. You gotta dodge it.
Oh my God.
You know, it's funny. Man, we're just talking a bunch of low stuff, but
you can't take us anywhere.
In Portland, they decriminalize drug use and drug possession, with the exception of fentanyl, which is mind-blowing to me. And I understand why they say it works, but it doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah. I find that terrifying.
Yeah.
But you know what it's like. You know, you're on the same coast that I am. It's just the further south you go, the worse it is. Actually, the worst is about halfway between us, I think. Yeah.
So next year, which is in a couple of days.
Yeah.
What is your... I'm going to use some fancy words. What is your designated plan of attack for 2024?
Oh, I like that. Because the reason I went with First Light Warrior is because historically, armed forces have used First Light as their point of attack. I don't know if I ever explained that to you before. Because at First Light, you have visibility, but your enemy may still be sleeping, right? So, wow, point of attack. You know what? Everything about my lifestyle is all about that fitness. And that is not to say that it's exercise. Sure, that's important. If I don't stay in motion, my illness ramps up. So I don't really have a choice. And so when I say fitness, I'm talking about everything from what's on my mind when I first wake up. Am I going to doom scroll and look for, what's happening in the world? Oh, that's the worst thing. No, the first thing I open is YouTube, because I want to hear what Eddie Pinheiro has to say. I want to hear Coach Payne. I want to hear CT Fletcher. I want to hear ET. I want to hear TD Jakes. That's what I put in my mind first thing. So I got off track on that for a while. I did. Consistency. That's the most important thing. Just stay consistent with that and really work on me. So my work should stem out of what I'm doing to work on me, rather than it being I need to create content. The content should happen because something great happened for me, and I want to share that. I think that's the most important thing.
I think it's powerful that you have CT Fletcher and TD Jakes in the same sentence.
Right?
One guy dropping F-bombs, and the other guy taking you to Jesus.
Right? You might need TD Jakes after listening to CT.
Yeah. Family, if you don't know
you know
who
what? They're both dead on. I mean, he's just unfiltered.
Yeah, they're obviously they're both powerful influencers.
Oh yeah, and they have been for me. And why? Well, look, the first time I saw CT Fletcher, he was talking with oh Lord, I forgot his name, but he's someone else that I follow on Instagram. Total blank. And I was like, who is this crazy guy? I had never seen him before. And I'm like, well, years later, I meet Kyle. Kyle's very much influenced by CT, and he was the one who got me listening to him. And I went, oh, that's that guy.
CT Fletcher is amazing. I actually got a workout routine from him, the one where, so I would do a warm up set, usually with the cable pull downs, and so I would,
Yeah.
so the goal is to do 10 sets of random weights. You don't know what they are. You have to
Yeah.
have a partner to do it. That's the only way. And the reason, the mentality behind that is that your mind, within a matter of a split second, will already tell your muscles what to expect.
Yes.
Once your mind knows what's happening, it tells your muscle, okay, get ready for this. The problem with that is sometimes you don't push your hardest, and sometimes you don't go to your limit, or the opposite. There's all kinds of emotions that are involved in that. So CT Fletcher had this workout where I copied, and so if my wife was at the gym with me, I would tell her what my max. And so at this particular gym, I could do the whole rack of I think it was like 150. So I could do the whole. So I told her I can do that. Just whatever you choose. I'm gonna do 10 to 12 reps of each set. So I wouldn't even look at what she's doing. I crank it out, do 10 reps. It's okay. She pull the pin, put another weight. I wouldn't even know what it was. And as soon as I pushed down, I was like, oh crap. And I just pushed down. And then there'd be times where it's super light and I would still squeeze the muscle tissue no matter what. And
Right. Engage correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's CT Fletcher. That was one of the best workouts I ever had.
Have you seen him coach somebody through Preacher Girls?
Yeah, I've seen quite a yeah. He's retarded though.
Oh,
Like I don't want to look like him. I don't want. I don't want. He looks like Popeye. He's like a black Popeye. I don't want to look like him, but I respect his workout.
you know what? In his physique aside, what is impressive about him is his dedication, which is what got him through a heart replacement. You
Yeah.
know, that's massive.
Well, he's gangster. Like so, him and we'll close it out with this, and then we'll do the rapid fire. So, him and Kali Muscle. For anybody that doesn't know, they
Yes.
came up around the same time. Kali Muscle he's an amazing influencer. He paved his own way. He was locked up in San Quentin, which is one of the most notorious prisons in the world. But anyway, they both came up around the same time, and it's funny how at that time social media influencer was not really a thing like
Right.
how it is now. I think now, if you ask the majority of people, I forget where I saw this poll, but the number one desired position in one of the polls I read was to be a social media influencer. It's just funny to me. That's an actual job position that people are looking to for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Yeah, it could be pandemic. It could be maybe they don't want to work for somebody. Um, who
Right.
knows? So, well, let's do this. Can you explain to people? We'll close it out and we'll do rapid fire. But can you explain to people what's been screaming at us for the past hour and 45 minutes? What's that behind you that's been screaming? Look at me in the background.
My Phoenix. And in fact, I'll show you my speed bag up there. Also has a Phoenix on it. This is a custom made by Roni. He's in Bulgaria. He's become a good friend of mine in the speed bag community, although I have not met him and might not. He makes exquisite work. So the Phoenix is extremely important to me. Culturally, it's been important to the Cherokee people, but also for me personally, just rising from the ashes. I've been to rock bottom, and I'm climbing out of that. I would say I've been there a couple of times in my life, so you'll see the Phoenix over and over in my themes.
So you've been at rock bottom. You just said, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing you threw away the shovel.
Right? Yeah, you know what? That's a powerful statement right there. That's exactly it, because 99% of our problems we cause ourselves. That's it.
Well, just
I understand circumstances weighing a person down, and I've been there, but it is about just making a decision. You're going to fight or not. Yeah.
I think to me, like just on our experience, my wife and I, and what we do, even dealing with people that they hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
and us included. Sometimes we think rock bottom is the deep as you can go, but I'm like, no, because you're still holding onto the shovel and you're still trying to dig another hole.
Yep.
And so, much
There's always
respect.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before rapid fire, anything you want to say before we do rapid fire?
You know what? Just whatever platforms that we managed to get this out on, follow both of us, please. This man has taken time out of his day to help promote what I'm doing, and I deeply appreciate that. A lot of times people will scroll past and go, "Oh, okay, that was cool." Remember to follow people. And hey, if you don't like us, you can unfollow later, but hold on to us for a minute and find that out first, because we both have really important messages to share. And it's like gLO, to me, it's, he always says, I'm just a regular guy sharing my life. Well, yeah, same here, mostly because I'm trying to help people level up. There's a popular trendy phrase these days, but I'm very serious when I say that. My goal is to be able to show people that you're not stuck with a diagnosis, a prognosis, you know, the doom that seems to be over our heads so much these days. I am trying to show you a way to get stabilized in your life and a way out of that. Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 1. What made you do this interview?
I like you.
Number 2.
The way that you engage with people. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to allow deep speculation. We just, although if you want to, that's fine. What makes you get up every morning?
Purpose.
Money not an issue. Where is your next trip?
Money not an issue. Hawaii.
Nice. Good answer. I don't know how to ask this. Okay, I'll skip that question. Kale or tofu?
Tofu.
Yeah.
I don't like kale.
Where are you from originally? It's not a trick question. You can answer however you want to. Where are you from originally?
Southern California, the South Bay.
Football or soccer?
Probably soccer.
Speed bag or kettlebells?
Speed bag.
Where is your next dream hike? If you had a dream hike, where would it be?
Oh, yeah. Well, solo through hiking the Trans Catalina Trail. Hopefully this next year. Yeah.
How high elevation?
Not a lot of elevation, but it's just the distance. It's 3 or 4 days. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's bigger things that I want to do, but that's the next. Yeah.
X spaces or X live streaming?
Oh, that's wow. That gets right to the heart of it. Right this moment, spaces. Right this moment. Long term, I love live streaming.
Well, I got a little cheat code because you can't. Not fair to make you pick one, but if you had to pick one where you could compromise, I would definitely say live streaming personally,
Yeah,
because I can kind of create my own spaces through software. If I wanted to, I could have, I think, 20, 30 people on here right now, but
true.
it's a lot of work because people are like, how do you click the link? You tap on it.
And it's in transition. It's evolving. So yeah.
So it leads to the next question. Do you see a future in X live streaming?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Last question. And I think I ask this question of everybody that comes on here is, what is your desire for the generation after us?
Hmm. That's my niece, you know? Stability. We are in such an upheaval. Stability. Being able to just have hope for things being at least manageable, if not in control. I mean, the society is overall in such upheaval. I want her to have stability in the future. Yeah. Hmm. That's a deep question.
She's the one in the pictures I seen on your socials.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an amazing young lady. She's probably got more self-motivation than I ever had, especially at that age. She has worked and put herself through college. Um, she's a designer. She's very motivated. I mean, she's the reason that I have had times where I was looking for a reason to keep going, and it was like, there's this person, because I don't have children of my own. She's my goddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an amazing young lady and stands out in her generation. Hmm.
Well, I always tell people you don't have to be a organic biological parent to influence the next generation.
Right.
It's just a privilege for some, and some have different privileges. And I think we all have a responsibility to the next generation. If we don't carry that responsibility, then I think we're short-sighted.
Yes.
I think we've become so focused on self, and what you're doing with your niece, legit, like
Yeah.
legit.
Did
And
you hear me tackle that last night about Generation X perpetuating some of these issues? I mean, we have to take some responsibility for that, you
yeah,
know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think with the next generation, whether you're from my fabric, my wife and I, or whatever, like for us, it's something that we have been blessed to be able to steward the next
Right.
generation. And we just had a cheat code, right? We have kids, so it's kind of a cheat code, right? But it's also a very huge responsibility. But I think even as a quote unquote social media influencers, content creators, if everything is about us or you,
Yeah.
then I think I really believe that we've lost sight of what's important.
Right. That's why the likes, the numbers, the glamour metrics that you've talked about, that's why that's less important. I want to hear feedback from people that tells me that I made a difference in their day. I made a difference in their life. Right. That's never mind 100,000 followers somewhere. That's nothing. 500,000 views on something. Okay. What did it do for you? Did you learn something? Did it make you laugh? Yeah.
Well, Tala, as always, from my household to yours, we love you. We appreciate you. To all of the family that has watched live on X and my Twitch family, I see you. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge you earlier. Instagram family, welcome to the fold. Instagram Live, for the first time in history, was with us live on
Yeah.
all social platforms. To my family on Rumble that I don't have yet, I am live on Rumble. But I figure, you know what? We're going to make our footprint and we're going to make it fat. And so, Tala, we love you. We appreciate you. For those of you that are not following Tala, it is Tala underscore no excuses
Yes.
on all socials.
Yes.
Follow her on Instagram, because Instagram is a lot more glossier than X. Sometimes X things get lost in the timeline. But also, just follow her. She's good people. I'm looking forward to doing an organic meetup. For those of you that are in California and you want to meet up with us, we're gonna do a organic meetup. I don't have a date or time. My wife is like, wait, what? So, but I'm one state away. Is it one state?
Yeah.
I'm one state away, so we can
Wait,
figure
you're in
something.
Oregon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
one state.
well, I'm in
For
Oregon,
sure.
Or Hawaii. It's one state over. So,
True. It's just
oh.
the ocean thing.
If you guys haven't shared this out, if you haven't followed Tala, make sure you click on that profile, follow her. As I always say, it's been an honor, Tala, to have you. And to all of you that have been with us, we're going to hit 2 hours in 30 seconds. I want to end it right at 2 hours. This is awesome. Love it. Don't forget, 5 and 7 Tactical Solutions. They brought this podcast to you. 5 and 7 Tactical Solutions, LLC.com. Be sure to click on their website. If that's something that interests you, be sure to reach out to them. If you want to purchase any type of training, be sure to put in gLO 808 and you get $25 off any training package that you choose. Okay, I'm done with that. Tala, love you. Family, thank you for your time. Thank you for your hearts, all your data. For those of you that don't have unlimited data like me and Tala, because we're special, thank you for clicking on this broadcast. We love you. All of my family on all socials. Until next time, as I always say, love you guys. God bless you guys. Ahui ho, aloha, and mahalo. Yes, sir. Chew.